Alright, so I was out exploring and I found this really neat little hill. This is so perfect for like a castle or some sort of outpost on this hill. So I guess the first thing as always is what is the color palette gonna be? Last time I did brick, granite, more of like an orangey palette. Maybe this time I could go for more of a standard stone brick kind of thing. I want to have a lot of angles and diagonal bits. I don't want one of those like straight basic looking castles. It's got to have a lot of interesting angles going on. Like I am not going to be precise at all with this. Maybe a tower could go right here, kind of like a centerpiece. And then there's obviously a big elevation change up here, so we need some sort of tower up here. Alright, that's looking extremely rough, but that's a start. It's going to be very gestural, very loose. Alright, so I think what would help is also planning out some of the roads that are going to go into the castle, so I can just kind of get an idea of the direction of things. Alright, that's a start, yeah. I saw, yeah, there's a village down there. It'd be cool if I could somehow incorporate this build with that, like connect it up. I mean, that would take forever to bridge these roads, but that would be really cool. Yeah, dude, my plan eventually, because I'm going to be obviously launching my Minecraft server on June 1st, is that eventually all of these building with no plan videos are going to be done on the server so that you guys can interact with this stuff. Like if I built this castle on the server, you could like live here, and I just feel like that would be so cool. So I'm really excited for that. I'm kind of hitting a cliff here. Maybe I should have it turn this way and dig out a bit of a cliffside pathway. That'd be kind of neat. You know what? Let me get some TNT. That way I can get this cliff going. That might have been a little bit too much, but that's the thing about TNT, is that it creates things that you weren't expecting so that you have to adapt to it. So I'm actually happy that happened. Alright, but for now, I would say I'll leave this. I just wanted to pencil in a pathway, and I'll clean that up at a later date. You know, it'd be kind of interesting if certain parts of the castle were more worn down than others. Like this part down here is really old and torn up, but over here maybe it's a little bit more modern and kept up to date. Because I just love that in builds where you have history to it, you know? Like I want to incorporate that somehow. I want to have a little bit more texture going on. I'm not loving just this plain stone. What else could I use? I mean, there's concrete powder. And that's just so much darker though. I think that's a lot darker. Cyan could work. That's kind of adding a bit of color to it. Maybe just in like a couple spots. I won't put it everywhere. Just certain areas like, oh, that's a little bit more weathered. So what I'm thinking is that if there's a staircase coming up to this, and this is just the floor, right? Whatever this is, then there should be a basement underneath it or something. Maybe I could have an entrance down here to the actual ground floor, and then this up here is the second floor. I'm just not quite sure what is actually going to go in here yet. I haven't thought about what each section of the castle is going to be for. So this is obviously going to be some sort of gate watchtower. This, I think I said, was going to be some sort of keep and a smaller tower. This could be the dining, maybe living area. And then maybe down here could just be storage, like wine cellars and whatnot. That's a pretty good size. Maybe back here could be an office of some sort. Or maybe this could be the wine cellar. That's what it could be. And all of this could be storage out here. It's really boring just having all coarse dirt. I think there's another variant, right? Yeah, rooted dirt. There we go. That's just adding a little splash of color. I mean, that's really subtle. You're probably not going to notice that kind of thing. Any bit of texture and variation really helps with the build. So we're going to need lots of chests and barrels and crafting tables and scaffolding. Oh, hay bales. That would be good. So I wanted to have a bunch of barrels in here, like it's a wine cellar. I won't do it on all of them, just so like only certain barrels are being tapped. It still looks a little bit empty in here though. What am I missing? Alright, that looks really weird from the outside, but let's see the inside. Yeah, this place is nice. I need to add a little bit more though. It's still missing something. You You know what could be cool actually is if I had some oak trapdoors and I was letting light through. I still feel like the floor is missing a little bit of depth, and maybe I could get that with some carpet and trapdoors. Here, I could put some potions on these item frames, and that way it kind of feels like it's wine, you know? Cool, I would say that's a pretty good storage room. It feels much more full now. Okay, so what are we going to move on to next? I would say let's work on this tower right here. Let's build this little thing up. So this is going to be one of the towers that connects this little watchtower thing. So I'm thinking that there's going to be some sort of bridge here so that people can walk from one tower to the other. So I want to thicken this up quite a bit. Everything is really messy right now. I'm being so imprecise with everything, but it'll look good eventually. If the staircase is right there though, that's going to kind of be in the way. You know what I'm saying? Because this is going to be like the pathway. Maybe instead, this is what I'll do. I'll have the staircase come out more this direction. Come up right there. Yeah, there we go. That works. I was thinking it could be kind of nice if the corners of these were basalt. Just to give a bit of texture. Yeah, I like that. It's kind of lining the corners better. Maybe I'll leave that for now, just let the general idea marinate a bit. And I want to make sure that everything isn't super straight, so let's make this like a curved bridge. Like that. That looks nice. How does that look? It's a little bit chunky. It's like really thick. I don't know if I want the bridge to be that thick. I do like the diagonal fences though. Maybe get rid of these corner bits. And then underneath, I can just have slabs and trapdoors. Yeah, I think that's better. It just looks a little bit more realistic or, you know, reasonable. All right, this is coming together, dude. Look at this. I love the what do they call it? The basalt on the corners. That's really good. God, man, look at this view, by the way. What a spot. So I've got a good foundation of the lower half of the castle. I want to work on this upper bit now and see if I can connect these up somehow. So let's work on this tower first. Maybe it could be that tall. That looks pretty good. Yeah, there we go. That looks good, dude. I like that depth. And then this was going to be the dining room. That's right. So this is going to be some sort of big hall, which actually looking at it now, I think it's a little bit too small. I think I need to make this a lot bigger. So this side of the castle, I wanted to have a little bit more modern. So maybe it'll just be stone brick. I'll have like a little bit of cobblestone here and there. I was thinking right here we could have some sort of alleyway. Like it looks like we could have some sort of bridge right here. But I gotta excavate this first. Alright, that can go somewhere. I'll figure that out later, but I wanted to pencil that in. I want it to be a bit of a grand entrance though. I want a bit of a foyer. Maybe I'll bring this out just a little bit. Looks alright. It's a little bit janky, but it does the job. This needs to connect up though somehow. I think I need to put some sort of building right here. Just really thicken this up. Alright, that's looking better. I don't like how straight edge that is actually though. Make this a little bit softer. There we go. That's better. I just don't want too many hard edges in here. I want kind of soft curves like that to make this feel really gestural. It would be kind of cool actually if this right here was a TNT cannon tower. You know, maybe it wouldn't be functional, but I could build some sort of cannon that's mounted in here. And we could like angle it at the other villages. It's like, stay away, right? Maybe this pathway could go along this way. That'd be nice. I was thinking this could just be a doorway originally, but it'd be nice if this went along the entire wall. Maybe we have a little entrance right here. I wonder if I could open this up and use this space in here somehow. Because I'd rather not just fill it in with solid blocks. I could probably do something with it. Could be like a makeshift storage area. That could work. God, this is turning into a mess. I'm really starting to have to improvise here. There we go, that's good. See, like that's another little thing with building where I could have just filled this in with solid blocks and it would have been a lot easier, but you can repurpose a space that you thought was useless into something that's actually, you know, pretty cool, like a little side storage area. All right, so back to this now. This is going to be the armory TNT artillery area, right? I like how it's kind of on this little hill too. That's pretty cool. I would say this room should be stone and maybe gravel. Oh, wait, there's a banner on my head. What? Is it because I'm holding it? Oh, there we go. That was weird. So if this is going to be an artillery spot, it might make some sense to have a pretty chunky ramp on the side where they can wheel up the TNT and the cannonballs or whatever it is, right? So I don't want this to be the only entrance. There needs to be some sort of industrial entrance off to the side here. Alright, so that could be the ramp where they wheel all the stuff in, and we'll have some sort of maybe industrial yard out that way. Alright, so the image that I have in my mind is that this is going to be not like a tower. These aren't going to be walls. This will have maybe like pillars, but it'll be open so we can see out, right? Like a nice epic view. I mean, look at that view, dude. So, I might as well start designing the actual cannon, because I think that's going to be the centerpiece of this room. I could go the functional route where it actually does work like a TNT cannon, or I could just make a more aesthetic looking one. Maybe I could do both. Maybe I could make it functional and aesthetic at the same time. I think there's a way I could do that. So the way that I know how to make one is you need, obviously, blocks. So let's get some stone brick. You need redstone. You need water. You need a slab. You need TNT. And then I think just a button. So the way that I've always made them, it's like a long tube. You put water at one end, put a slab there, a line of repeaters on one side, you put redstone there, redstone all along here. I just want to make sure there's enough clearance for it to get out. So let me just make sure there's an opening. And then, oh, there wasn't enough of a delay. Oh. Well, something wasn't quite right with that. What did I do wrong? I thought I had that right for sure. Alright, so let me try that without the TNT. Let me just see how the fuse works. So you'd light that. Oh, it's because I had a redstone dust lighting this final piece when it's only supposed to be on this side. There we go. Let me try it with a longer delay now. Yeah, okay, so I don't know if I'll be able to actually hit anything with it, but it's really cool. That's the idea I had. I just want to make like a really cool looking artillery piece. Alright, so now I just have to find a way to make this look more aesthetic, like an actual cannon. Alright, that'll do. That looks enough like a cannon. Little bits and bobs on the side. So the next thing to work on would be probably the dining area. I want to get this a little bit more laid out. So I'm thinking that we'll have one big dining table, and then down here can be some sort of fireplace. Make it all cozy. So probably two right there. Alright, that's a start. It's a nice little fireplace. So this is the center of the room. So maybe the table should be just one giant log. But spruce is really similar to the floor. I want some nice contrast. What about like a deep slate table? That would be cool. I want to be able to sit a lot of people here. This is like a proper castle table. That looks good enough. I don't love that gray, actually. I can do better than that. Because this is like a fancy king, right? He lives in a nice castle, so it's got to be all fancy. And then we need some stuff on the table, right? So we need to give them some plates. I don't love that. Hold on. Maybe it would make more sense to have item frames as the plates, and that's like their food. I'm gonna sprinkle a couple around here. Beef and mutton and chicken and potions. It's like kind of like everyone's got a plate and they're sharing it, right? Just a bunch of random items all over the table. That looks nice. Alright, so that wall is obviously way too flat, so we now need to break it up a little bit. We'll just like sprinkle in some divided sections, you know? Here, we'll make like little offshoots, little rooms in here. Yeah, there we go. It's cozy in here. I like that. All right, so at this point, every single room is at least loosely defined. Everything is kind of starting to come together. But I want to take a bit of a break from the castle and move on to some landscaping and maybe connect up this path to the village down there. God, I really made a mess of this, didn't I? We're actually almost there. I didn't realize that the village was this close. Alright, there we go. All connected up. Looks good. I was thinking it could be kind of funny, or not funny, but it could be cool if I built a little cabin down here and kind of built up this area like this is the castle, but villagers and peasants, they come up the hill and ask the Lord for help, you know? So I could build a little house down here for someone. That could be nice. Give them a little wheat farm, a little garden, something like that. You know, maybe because this is a slightly better peasant, he's doing a little bit better for himself, we'll give him a little fireplace. I think the roof should be hay bales. Like it's like a thatched roof. Maybe I could use bamboo to flatten out these edges a bit, just to make it a little bit more gradual. Yeah, that'll do. Alright, so it's pretty cramped in here. Not a lot of space to work with, but that's fine. Got a little kitchen going over here. This could be an island where he's chopping his meat. That's good. And then something should go right here. Maybe a little eating area. You know, someone taught me this tip. If you name the spawn egg, it gives the name tag automatically. So what about... I don't want to have Clarence, because my thinking is that the castle will be Clarence Castle. Maybe just Terrence. Maybe the Terrences have been banished. They are living as peasants down here. So they have to they have to live in these little hovels. Terrence's domicile. Here, maybe we should give Terrence a little garden in the back. If he's going to be a butcher, maybe he'll have some cows or sheep, you know? Here, we'll make it all like muddy in here, because this is where pigs live. Alright, cool. That is the Terrence, what did I call it? Domicile, that's right. I gotta say, man, for being a peasant home, he is really living it up, isn't he? Alright, so it'd probably be a good opportunity to return to the castle, now that I've done a little bit off over there. I think it would be good to actually start getting some structure in here. This is still very much the foundation, but I wanted to have like this layer be stone, and then this layer up here be like a different color. Like maybe this is all wood on the second floor, right? That looks alright, I guess. I mean, what else can I do? It's not bad. You know what I can do? I'll make this layer, like this is the basement, right? It's all the storage stuff down here. And then I can have another layer. This is maybe where the workers prepare the food for the royal family. And then the final floor is actually where they live. I'll do that. Yeah, that looks decent enough. We could even have the castle be different colors in different areas. Like maybe this side is kind of purpley blue color, and over here could be more of like a darker blue, and just have different variation depending on which part of the castle you're in. That could be cool. I'm kind of feeling like this right here should have a lip. I think they should come out by one. If you're ever wondering how to improve your build, it's often going to come down to depth. Like that could have been a really boring flat wall, but if you bring it out by one, then it's suddenly more interesting to look at. My style of building has definitely changed recently, and I used to always think that everything had to be very precise, and that if I was, you know, like one section of my build wasn't exactly the same as the other, that it was just going to look bad. But honestly, man, I've kind of thrown that out the window, and, you know, like this right here, I brought this section out. I didn't count, like, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, make sure that's the same side as this, and, okay, that's 6 as well. Like, it doesn't matter, you know? It's what matters is, from a distance, how does it look, right? And as long as you just get the general flow of the idea and you're just kind of being loose with it, it doesn't really matter. And honestly, it's a lot more freeing to build that way, because now you're just kind of free to just make changes, and it doesn't really matter if it's not too precise. Yeah, you should try it someday. Just kind of let loose. Don't be such a perfectionist, and I think you're going to find that building is actually a lot more fun. It would be nice, though, if there were just a few windows just for light. Let me see if I can just squeak some windows in here. You know, that's another thing about building, is that when you have a giant room, it's a little bit intimidating to figure out how you're going to design it. But if you break it up like this into smaller little cozier pockets. It's a lot easier to envision each room having its own purpose, right? It's not quite as scary. Look at Terrence down there going for his morning walk. Let's say you walk in the front. Maybe right here we could have a little mud room. Here we could have chiseled bookshelves to act like little shoe racks. Where, you shove your shoes inside of the storage container. So this could be one of the maybe 2 different kitchens. We got one kitchen over here and one kitchen in here. Put a bunch of smokers in here. That's nice. Could have some walls that act like the piping that bring the smoke out from the smokers. And it all comes up from like a central exhaust fume, Like I could have a campfire that's covered in trapdoors. So it's like all the smoke from the smokers is coming out through one point. That's cool. Alright, that's a good little interior so far. Could have another kitchen right here. Yeah, I mean, some of the walls, they're in the way of the windows, but, again, it's like the thing about not being too precise, right? It doesn't really matter. Alright, that's good. 2 rooms. And then this back one could just be another pantry, I think. Just put a ton of food and wheat and whatnot in here. Oh, what would be cool, actually, is if I had a ladder that was connecting up the bottom floor to the top floor, so it's like you can go up and down if the workers need to grab something real quick. And I think I can put trapdoors on the back of the ladders to make it like a hanging ladder. Yeah, that's good. Just go up real quick. Alright, that's looking good, dude. I like this a lot. And now I just gotta put another floor on top of it, right? This is gonna be the main floor. First of all, I need to figure out what the wall color is gonna be. I might stop using the basalt for that level, and I'll use a different log, like maybe just spruce logs. Alright, so let's make a little design. How could this look? So, we got cyan. I think that's just a little bit too dark. Could go more of like the green route. I don't love the concrete. Let me make it all terracotta. Yeah, let me copy that design all the way around. I think the green will be a nice contrast. Terracotta. Maybe there's another color I could mix in with the green. Like lime terracotta? I think that's nice. I just don't want it to be too plain. I want to have some, color variation. It's funny how the last building video that I did, where I built that massive prison, and I was like, oh, let me build something simpler next time. Nope. I'm building an entire castle. I really like how this is coming along, so I wouldn't want it any other way. Alright, so that's all the walls. I mean, they're a little bit plain right now, but I'll add the details later. Maybe actually, I said living quarters, but this could be the living quarters of the workers. And then over here, this is the living quarters of the actual family. That's how we can do it. So I won't make these quite as nice. Peasant-y, kind of like a big dormitory kind of vibe. It's too bad I'm not building this actually on the Flow SMP, because this would be a really cool build, dude. Like, imagine living here and you had survival and you got all these mountains to explore. That would be awesome. Alright, how does that look from the downstairs? Whoa, this is cool, dude. Yeah, this is really cool. Oh, and the window too? This is nice. So, I do still want to divide it up into rooms, but they're not going to be super private rooms. Like, everyone's just going to be kind of crammed in these really, cramped dorms. Maybe we can even put some in the center like this. Yeah, nothing too private in here. It's very undesirable living. Yeah, we'll give them their own little foot locker. They can store their stuff. It's a little bit cramped for a flower pot. I don't know how much sunlight this would be getting, but you know what? You get a nice view of the exhaust fumes of the kitchen. Alright, that looks pretty good for a 3rd floor, I would say. We don't need too much more than that. And the tricky thing is figuring out what the roof is going to be like, because I have not really thought about that yet. I was thinking deep slate, because I need something with stair blocks, right? So I guess these are my options. And I've done nether brick. That was the first video. Could do like a prismarine. I'm not sure. What about deep? Let me try out the deep slate, because that would be pretty standard, pretty dark gray. That could work. That would match the pillars. I think I'm going to go with the deep slate. I think it's a little bit too goofy, a little bit too bright to have this prismarine. You know what I think would look good, actually, because it's kind of boring right now, is to put some smokestacks on the top. That'll really finish it off. Yeah, that's okay. It's not quite as cool as I thought it would look. I just need some more details on the roof, I think. Something. Maybe some lightning rods. Yeah, okay, that looks pretty good. That's a solid roof, I would say. So that side of the castle is pretty much done now. We've got 3 floors. We've got the storage. We've got the workers' kitchen and food storage areas. And then we've got their bedrooms up here for storage. You can look through in the bottom. This is cool, man. I really like this part of the castle. Alright, I ended up completely scrapping the roof. It looked bad. There was something off about it, so I'll come back to that at a later date. But I had an idea, switching over here to building a horse stable, maybe industrial courtyard. First thing would be to actually pencil in the road. Alright, so now that the road's done, I want to add in some walls to kind of figure out what the dimensions of this courtyard is going to be. Have like a gatehouse right here. Like some really thick, chunky walls that are just dividing it up. You know, that could be good. God, this castle is really getting big now, isn't it? Alright, that's a loose idea. That looks pretty good, pretty gestural. I think that's what this castle was missing. I think it was a little bit too small right here, but this courtyard is really gonna tie things together. Now, one thing I thought of, it would be nice if the castle was a little bit more on a cliff. You know, like I like how the TNT tower right here is on a bit of a hill. And this is just a little bit too low. So I was thinking I could get some TNT. That might be a little bit too much. But, you know what? Let's see what happens. Alright. That's a start, I suppose. I incurred a little bit of damage, but I can fix that. You know what, actually, before I do any repairs, let me do another round of that, because I want this to be even further down. Alright. That looks like a lot again. It's still feeling a little bit short, though. Maybe I want to do it even deeper. Here we go. I'll use a TNT brush. That's a lot of TNT, dude. Is this going to be a bad idea? It might be. Oh my god. Now, I gotta repair what I damaged. Alright, so that's mostly repaired. Looks fine now. Now I can turn back to the actual courtyard. Alright, so now let's start thinking about how the different yards are going to work. So down here, I said this was going to be like an industrial yard. Alright, that looks pretty good for a lower courtyard. And then up here we can have more of a upper horse stable area. Maybe I could have a little road going down from the lower courtyard to the upper one, like this. Yeah, something like that, where it just comes down to here. Maybe I could line off the road with stone so that it still feels like there's a kind of a direction to go. Because now it's all starting to kind of blend together with this coarse dirt. You know, like this, where it's just kind of right on the edge. So it kind of gives you a guiding line where the path goes. That could work. I think right here should be actually a building, now that I'm looking at it. Let me get some stone bricks going. Maybe like a stable house. Something. That'll do. Just some sort of box for now. But I think that could be like the stable. You know, like a proper building for the horses, and then a second floor for where the stable master can live. Something like that. There we go. There's the boys. That'll go somewhere. Alright, that looks pretty good for a stable. That's a good downstairs. Now we gotta work on the upstairs. I could go with an orange terracotta. That could be cool, like a red-orange color. It would be really bright. But it could work. Well, let me look. I don't know if that looks super realistic. What about light gray? It just looks a little bit too Mediterranean, almost. Yeah, I think that looks more realistic. Looks like you would actually see that in a stable. Oh, you know, one thing I forgot to do is add the basalt on the corners. Let me do that. 'Cause it's been looking a little bit plain. I'm like, what's missing? It's probably missing this trim. Yeah, on the edges. Alright, I think that's the exterior done of that floor. Looks decent enough. I want to start thinking about the roof now. I didn't figure it out with that building, so it's a bit of a question mark. But I feel like given how brown these walls are, I need to have some color in the roof. And maybe I could have a deep slate trim. And you know what? I was kind of on the fence about that prismarine, but maybe it could look good. Yeah, I think it adds a nice splash of color. I think that's what that building over there was missing. This is so awkward with the roof hitting the wall right here. I have no idea how I'm going to make this work. It's not bad, honestly. I mean, it's a little bit flat, but I think that works. Yeah, I kind of like it. I think it'll look better once there's actually a castle around it. So now I got to make the interior of the upstairs. So maybe this bedroom could be the stable master. He's got his own private room. And then out here it could be more of like a dorm situation for all the hands to sleep. Give him a little table where he can do his paperwork. All right, how about Master Jones? He'll be the stable master. And then out here will be all of Master Jones's stable hands, all of his helpers. Maybe I could have an attic upstairs for more storage, like where they store all the wheat. Alright, yeah, that'll do. This is coming together. Call this Master Jones's quarters. You know, it's like whenever you're in doubt for decorations, just add a bunch of barrels. They always look pretty good. Right, and then I had a balcony idea out here. Oh, jeez. Actually, you know what would be cool? I could have a lower balcony, like this level, and this could be a ladder down to it. That'll work. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So I guess that's pretty much the stable. That's a pretty complete build, I would say. Got the horses in the bottom. They got their little drinking buckets. Ooh, that looks a little bit murky. Maybe it's not the cleanest water in the world. And then we've got the upstairs for the stable hands. Got their couches. We got the Clarences doing their work. We got Master Jones hard at work. Yeah, dude, this is cool. So I think the next thing to work on would probably be down here, this tower kind of thing. I left this pretty unfinished, and it's pretty small, so I can do this quickly. This is the most awkwardly shaped building I have ever made. Alright, so that's the second floor. Like, look at that roof shape, dude. Like, what is wrong with me? That is the weirdest looking roof. So I'm thinking blackstone for this roof. I want something really striking. Like that. Ooh, that looks nice, dude. Like a metal grate. That looks so stupid. God, dude, roofs are not my strong suit at all. It just... it just looks so stupid. I might just need to scrap the entire thing. It's like a dunce cap. Let me start over. Hold on. Let me just scrap this. I mean, I could just go for more of like the standard castle turret where it's just flat on top and they can just stand on top, you know? Like it's like you're up here and you're like on a wall and you're looking down kind of a thing. Okay. And then I can flatten that out at the top. I mean, it looks better than the last one. It's still not great. Maybe if I had some, like awnings, you know, like a little cloth bit being draped over. Let me see if I can do something. I think that's probably the best so far. It's probably not the final answer, but I think this can work for now. I do think though that I'm gonna need some better continuity between the roofs because I don't want, you know, like a blue and white roof here and then I got like a purpley blue one over here and then like a deep slate one over here, right? There's got to be some continuity to it. I'll figure it out. I could have some like boiling pots of you know how so, like some castles, their defense would be having these like boiling pots that would dip stuff off the side. Oh, I should get some iron golems up here actually. Call them Stanley. Get a couple up here. Manning the watchtower. Such a weird building, man. That's just like so bizarre. Alright, so let's think about the general flow of this building. So you walk in the bottom floor, got something down here, some sort of room, and then you come upstairs to this floor, another smaller office of sorts, and then you can either go towards this side of the castle, or you can go upstairs through here. This comes up to the third floor, another sort of office that connects up to this bridge. God, this is so confusing. And then you can go up to... Wait, what? And then, wait, where did this come from? And then you can go up to the final floor, the fourth floor, the opening where the Stanleys are. Wow, what a convoluted mess of a building that is. I think this should just be like a basic office in here. Nothing, or not even an office. This can just be storage. Just put some barrels and chests in here. Maybe some iron blocks because this is where the iron golems work. Stanley. And this could be an actual office where they do their paperwork. Give him a nice big chair because he's an iron golem. And then we've got this floor. This could be like the main iron storage room. A ton of iron. Alright, so that's this floor. And then the final floor I already did, yeah. Okay, so I think this is good. I think I've come a long way from that terrible first roof design. I think it looks pretty good for a watchtower. It's probably the most unorganized, least optimal, least precise thing I've ever made, but you know, it turned out pretty well. Alright, what next? What should I work on next? Alright, so I did a little bit of building off camera, as they say, and I finally have a solution for this roof. Look at this. I think this looks pretty good. But as you'll see, I added this platform up here, right? It's like not totally one roof, right? So let me give you a little tour of what I built. So you come up the tower, and then you come across this little bridge, and then we've got Big Cannoli. This is a much more grandiose version of the cannon I built down there. And it's got 2 layers of power behind it. Bits and bobs and chains and lighting and piping. It's pretty menacing looking, not gonna lie. So I want to give Terrence down there a little wake up. Oh my god. Dude, that launches it like a mile. I didn't know it went that far. Golly. Yeah, so whenever we're doing test firing on the range, Terrence might get woken up a little bit, but no, it's fine. So that's what I built off camera, but there's still a lot to do, obviously, right? So I think the next area of business would probably be the royal quarters. This is the part of the castle where they're going to be living and sleeping. Got this tower up here, so I want to work on this. I was thinking it could be kind of interesting if this wasn't just one roof, like the floor is just here, but it was more like a 2-story balcony situation. It's kind of hard to explain, so let me just build it and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's better. So that way you can like kind of see down into the dining area. That's cool. Alright, so that's the idea. It'll be a little walkway over top of the dining area. I feel like the master bedroom should be back here towards the center. Alright, so that's one bedroom. And then we could have maybe one right here and then a couple on that side. Okay, cool. So that's one bedroom there, 2 right there, and then the master bedroom right here. I guess now I can actually fill in the bedrooms, put some decorations in here. I want a window right there for sure. Maybe I'll put it right there, actually. That'll be the bed. Nice big bed. All right, what else would go in a bedroom? Maybe some barrels and chests. That's always a handy one. And a little closet. That's cool. All right, that's a pretty good bedroom. Looks good. I wonder if I could do some curtains with banners. Would that be possible? Yeah, that kind of gives curtain vibes. Yeah, I can see it. Alright, that's all the bedrooms done. I like it. Looks good. Now I just have to figure out what the roof situation is going to be. Alright, let me start working on this roof. Yeah, dude, I'm really glad I switched to the Prismarine. That looks really good. Alright. Wow, that looks good, dude. I love that shape. It's like the perfect centerpiece building for the entire castle. So I was in the middle of finishing up the castle when my computer turned itself off. And then I got greeted with this message when I came back to the world. And long story short, when I click this button, it says that the world is invalid or has corrupted save data. What this basically means is we can't finish the castle. It's pretty much inaccessible. I tried everything that you could think of to restore the files. I tried to recreate the world and drag the files into there and copy them in, and I got met with this mess. So yeah, that kind of sucks. That's adult. I don't know what else I could have done. I don't know why it happened, but yeah. Honestly, I was getting a little bit bored of the castle. It was probably a little bit too much. I think I bit off more than I could chew. So maybe this is just a blessing in disguise, and it ended the project for me, all right? It just sucks because I was going to add this build to the archive world when I was done. You know, this was the first video where I had the bridge tavern. This was the second video where I built this massive prison. I was going to put the castle over here, but you know, it happens. It's not the end of the world, and you know, we still got the entire video out of it. I still had a blast building what I built, but like I said, there's always an opportunity for something good to come out of something bad, so it's not like it's that big of a deal. Here, we should still give it a memorial sign somewhere. Clarence Castle, rest in peace, 4/14/24. People have been asking me to get back to the cinematic survival anyways, so it's just really a blessing in disguise. I'm excited to move on to other projects. But I hope you enjoyed this one. This was a lot of fun to build, even though it ended in an L, and I'll catch you later.